There is a secret pulsing beneath the surface of your everyday, an intuition you have tried to stifle under the weight of logic, work, and deadlines. It is that subtle, almost painful sensation of being a stranger in a land that, despite claiming to be yours, does not recognize you. It is not depression, it is not fatigue, it is ontological nostalgia. It is the radio signal from a distant homeland that the noise of the world has not yet managed to extinguish completely. We are used to thinking of our lives as a biological journey, an accident of fate, or a concession from some distant divinity. But what if reality were much more complex? What if this entire plane of existence were nothing more than a closed structure, a subcreation designed to contain, recycle, and consume an energy it cannot produce on its own? Imagine a perfectly sealed system. An invisible architect has built the walls of this prison using the laws of physics, time, and necessity. He created guardians, forces we might define as mechanical, archaic, which we will call the Regulators, convinced they are the absolute masters of life and death. These Regulators watch souls slide into bodies like cargo on an assembly line. They believe every spark of life entering their domain is their property, their creation, a small engine destined to fuel the great machine of material existence. But here, the unpredictable happens. Long before you took your first breath, even before time was measured by clocks, an unprecedented act of sabotage occurred. A force residing beyond the boundaries of this space, a wisdom that does not answer to the laws of gravity or pain, decided to intervene, not with an invasion, which would have alerted the system's defenses, but with a clandestine descent. This force entered the world incognito. It crossed the borders of the subcreation by masking itself, assuming the enemy's form, speaking the language of limitation while carrying infinity within. It passed through the spheres of necessity and the gates of time without the Regulators noticing, because the arrogance of power has a blind spot. It believes nothing can exist outside its own logic. This force did not come to build temples or establish laws, but to deposit a seed. A light code has been injected into specific currents of life. It has been hidden within the folds of the human soul, protected by a shield of invisibility. And here we come to you. The Regulators have taken you. They saw your soul approaching the threshold of matter and believed you were one of them. They saw a shadow and thought it was their own shadow. Thus, they threw you into a physical body, convinced they had added another slave to their kingdom. They did not know, and still do not know, that inside that container of flesh and bone, a frequency has been introduced that does not belong to this dimension. You are in the world, but you are not of the world. You are an invisible saboteur sleeping in the heart of the system. You carry within you a fragment of the original source, protected by a necessary oblivion. Because if you had remembered too soon who you are, your light would have blown the prison circuits, and the system would have rejected or destroyed you before your mission could begin. You are here for a reason your mind does not yet grasp, but which your blood recognizes. You are the error in the calculation of this world's creator. You are living proof that the prison has a flaw. Before every incarnation, before your consciousness condenses into matter, you are offered the liquor of forgetfulness. It is not an act of wanton cruelty, but a security protocol of the system. You are asked, or rather induced, to abandon the memory of your divine origin. Because a prisoner who does not know he is a prince will never seek to reclaim his throne. A saboteur who forgets his mission becomes, for all intents and purposes, a model citizen of the prison. We now come to the question your spirit has formulated in the silence. In what way, if we are prisoners and apparently helpless, can we cause such a vast and ancient system to collapse? The answer does not lie in action, but in frequency. The dominion of the Regulators does not rest on physical force, but on the coherence of the illusion. This world is a complex architecture of waves, a dense hologram fueled by your attention and your emotions. The system lives as long as the souls that inhabit it vibrate at its same frequency, that of fear, desire, separation, and survival, and as long as you react to the laws of this plane, you fuel it, you make it real. The sabotage of the spark force is an operation of destructive interference. Imagine a pure note resonating in a room full of fragile glass. If the note is the right one, the glass cannot help but shatter. You are that note. Your function in this plane is not to do something heroic in the human sense of the term, but it is that of remembering in the heart of nothingness. Every time that, despite the oblivion, you perceive your divine origin, every time you deny the system the energy of your fear, every time you look at matter and do not recognize it as your ultimate truth, you are inputting an incoherent datum into the computer of the subcreation. You are creating a bug in the program. The archons think they have locked up subjects, but they have locked up observers. And, as the deepest physics teaches us, the act of observing changes the nature of the reality observed. A spark that observes itself living inside the cage ceases to be part of the cage. In that moment, the system ceases to be a universe and becomes a simulation, and a simulation which is unmasked has its seconds numbered. But why then does it seem that nothing is happening? And why does the system still seem so solid? Because the spark operates in clandestinity. If the collapse were instantaneous and external, the regulators could isolate the anomaly and destroy it. Instead, the sabotage is internal and capillary. It is like an invisible rust that eats iron from the inside. Outside the structure looks intact, but its essence is already dust. The collapse occurs through the withdrawal of consent. While the archons scramble to extinguish consciousnesses through conflict, noise, and distraction, the spark is performing the most revolutionary act possible. It is bringing the light of the source into the darkest depths of matter. It is bringing the infinite inside the finite. And, by ontological law, the finite cannot contain the infinite without exploding. The system will collapse not because someone will tear it down from the outside, but because it will become incapable of containing the pressure of the truth that you, an infiltrate of the light, are accumulating within it. You are like a Trojan horse in reverse. You did not bring soldiers inside the city, you brought the celestial city inside the prison. This is why the Chalice of Oblivion and the spirit of opposition are futile. Even if they made you forget your name, they cannot make you forget your nature. Your spark does not need instructions to sabotage the system. It is enough for you to exist. It is enough for you not to belong. It is enough for you to stay lit in the dark. You are not a victim fallen into the mud. You are a frequency transformer. You are here to live the experience of density so that, through you, density itself can be transmuted and returned to the light. The system thinks it is using you, but it is the light that is using the system to accomplish the ultimate, incredible mission: the redemption of matter itself. If you have come this far, if these words did not seem like mere concepts but resonated like an echo in an empty room, then your veil is tearing. The clandestine mission for which you were sent is entering its operational phase. Do not seek great external gestures. The true sabotage occurs in the secret of your daily life. Every time you choose compassion instead of judgment, every time you seek the truth behind the appearance, every time you do not allow pain to extinguish your intrinsic joy, you are performing the supreme act of rebellion. You are demonstrating to the regulators that their creation has no power over your essence. Truth does not stand in the middle, as they have often made us believe to make us lukewarm. Truth is radical. You are a fragment of the Absolute that has accepted the most extreme challenge, to forget itself in order to be able to find itself in the most improbable place. Your presence is a silent sabotage. You are not here to convince the masses, but to be a lighthouse for other hidden sparks. When you awaken, you change the vibrational frequency of the environment around you. You create a zone of interference in the system's signal. This is why you are so precious and so feared. You are the proof that the infiltration was successful. You are the seed of a reality that cannot be contained by their walls. The subcreation is a house of cards, and your awareness is the wind that will blow it down. Do not seek outside for the key to your liberation. The key is the very awareness of being a stranger in this world. Because only an exile can understand the value of freedom, and only a saboteur knows that the collapse of the system is the beginning of his true life. The time of masks is coming to an end. We are entering an era where the noise of this world will become unbearable, where the system will try by every means to close its ranks. In that moment, remember, you are not a lost creature. You are a vanguard. You are part of an invisible host that, silently, is bringing the light back to where it was thought it could no longer reach. Do not be afraid of the archons, the spheres, or the boundaries of this time. They are only shadows lengthening before sunset, and the sunset of this world is the dawn of your true freedom. I leave these words as a seed. Do not keep them as intellectual knowledge, but let them become blood and breath. My journey here ends, but yours is entering its brightest part. Be faithful to your origin. Be aware of your mission. Be, simply, what you have always been before the world tried to tell you who you had to be. If these words have made something vibrate that you thought was extinguished, then the signal has reached its destination. Not much is needed. Write even just one word that represents your true nature. May your awakening be the proof that the system never won. We are in the world, but we will never again be of the world. The system has already collapsed. It is only a matter of time before your vision understands it. Happy awakening to you, conscious spark, and thank you for walking with me. See you soon.